Everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at the elements of music, continuing on our discussion. Last time we were taking a look at some of the basic principles of the melody and how the melody is presented to us. This particular lecture is going to continue on with this sheet, which is online for you to start filling out and developing your background in a language of music. I wanted to spend some time today on mainly focusing on the orchestra. Some of you may have been in an orchestra when you were in junior high or high school, and so you'll have a little bit more familiarity with that. Some of you haven't been, right? So either way, this class is designed to help everyone kind of come together with a somewhat of a unified appreciation of music and being able to have a basis to go on and develop some deeper levels of appreciation throughout your life. Just taking a look at what an orchestra is. An orchestra is a large instrumental group consisting of between 80 to 100 members in general, right? Sometimes it's a little bit more than that, sometimes a little bit less. It just depends on the type of orchestra. Instruments are classified into four main classes. There's the strings, the woodwinds, the brass, and the percussions. And so what we're going to do today is I'm going to go through each of these and give you the kind of an overview of each of the instruments, and so you can, as you're listening to a symphony, you can point out what is being played at what time. And again, some of you are probably pretty good at picking out what an instrument sounds like. Some of you might be somewhat new for you, and so it's designed to get everyone on the same page. Let's take a look at the strings. The strings, there's four main elements that I want to talk about with the strings. There is, first of all, the definition of a string is these are when you have strings over a soundboard and vibrating the strings produces a different sound. In an orchestra, there are violins for the high or soprano range. There's the violas for the mid or high or alto range. There's the cellos for the middle or tenor, and then the double bass for the low or the bass sound. And so you're going to have generally all of them kind of working, providing a harmony within them. Some argue that the strings are the most important part of an orchestra because they play the most vital roles. They kind of are where the melody is generally within the strings. And they generally create the rhythm, the intensity of the melody. And so generally that's what you're really going to hear for the most part in orchestra. I wanted to play the sounds, right? Just the different ones. So as you're listening to it, you can pick out what each of them sounds like. This is a violin, the higher register.
This is the violin. It is a string instrument, much like the guitar. But unlike the guitar, you don't just play with your fingers or with a pick, you use the bow. Violin also, like the guitar, has a fingerboard, but it does not have frets. The violin can be used for many different types of music, including fiddle music and pop music, as well as what it's known for, classical music.
Okay, we'll leave off there, but I like this particular clip because it shows you the different techniques that you can use, and playing an instrument creates a different sound within it. I wanted to also take a look at the viola. The viola is generally a little bit bigger than the violin, and it's going to have a deeper sound to it. I wanted to show you what a $45 million viola sounds like. That's not it. Hang on. Here we go. off there. The reason why it's $45 million is it's made by a very famous string instrument maker back a couple hundred years ago named Stradivarius. And he made the perfect sound for string instruments. And so if anyone can find a Stradivarius, they're very rare, and so they're worth a lot of money. And occasionally you'll hear about a Stradivarius, kind of someone cleaned out their barn and they found a Stradivarius that's worth several $1,000,000. And so check your barns just to make sure there's not a $45 million instrument in there. Let's take a look at a cello. Cello's going to be a little bit bigger, played a little bit differently because it's going to be on the ground rather than on the shoulder. Going to have a deeper sound, one more of the tenor range. Cool clip, nice song. He's playing it a little bit differently, right? Kind of having some interesting techniques on how to play it, but it gives you the sense of the sound, right? That's the main purpose that I want you to go through is the sound. Let's take a look at the double bass, the lower range, right? Larger, play a little bit differently. Okay, within this clip, you hear kind of the higher range of a double bass, and then the kind of the normal range of a double bass, and so you kind of hear them both together. So I want you to start listening for the instruments as you start listening to symphonies. Let's take a look at. I'm not ready for this one yet. Let's take a look at woodwinds. Woodwinds are instruments where air passes over holes and valves that open and close to produce different tones. An orchestra consists of piccolos, which is the very high soprano, the flutes, which is kind of that soprano range, the oboe, which is a double reed, English horn is kind of or an alto oboe used for expressive melodies, and the bassoon and clarinet. And so these are the main instruments that you would see within an orchestra. Just to give you a sense of the sound, right? Here's what the flute sounds like. This is Mario flute. He's just getting warmed up. He really starts to take off. Okay, we'll leave off there. And I'm trying to show you some clips here that not only introduce the instrument to you, but also kind of a little bit more of a fun way of doing it rather than just playing it in a classical way. So here you see him beatboxing as he's playing the flute, which as he blows out, right, so he's got to blow out to make the sound to the instrument. And then when he's breathing back in, he's making the beatboxing sound. So it's kind of an interesting technique on how to do that. Let's take a look at a couple other instruments. This one is the oboe. Give me the range. And then a little smile there. A bassoon. This is just giving me a sense of the range of the bassoon. He kind of goes into a little bit more depth than we need to for this class on the bassoon. I just want to focus on that. Okay, and then here's the clarinet. Has a similar sound to the oboe, just a little squeakier. Again, think about the range. Maybe a little high. Trying to get there. Let's take a look at the. Hang on. We're not ready for her yet. Let's take a look at the brass. These are generally, they create within a symphony a majestic or royal or powerful feeling. These are instruments where the sound is created by vibrating air through the instrument in conjunction with the vibration of the player's lips. An orchestra consists of trumpets, French horns, trombones, and tubas. And so this one is the range of the trumpet. There we go, and she's out. Here's the French horn. And I know what you're wondering, if all French horn players are so melancholy, and the answer is yes, because they have to stick their hand inside their instrument. I'm just kidding. Here's the trombone. Kind of giving the range a little bit high, but anyway. There we go. There we go. And then the tuba.
The range of the tuba.
Sort of. So it looks like he's going to drop it, but it gives you kind of the sense of the range. The general range is going to be in more of that middle section. Take a look at percussions. Percussions help to create a feeling of intensity. These are instruments where sound is created by striking, like drums, shaking, like a tambourine, or scraping the instrument. There are two types. There are pitched and unpitched. Pitched have a variety of tones, like a glockenspiel or a xylophone. Unpitched cannot vary their tone, such as a snare drum, a bass drum, cymbals, and triangles. And just give you a sense of a couple as we go through here. Okay, xylophone, and then this one is a snare drum. Okay, and so that will conclude this particular discussion on giving you just the overview of the orchestra. And so you can start listening to how these instruments, how these individual instruments help to create an overall feeling, right? As you kind of listen for them, you can think about what are they doing to create that richer texture for the symphony that you're listening to.